Good afternoon, and welcome to the next segment of the PartsSource Partner Symposium, focused on our incredible OEM, supplier, and service partnerships. My name is Guy Mansueto, Chief Marketing Officer at PartsSource, and I look forward to being your host for this afternoon session. As was mentioned this morning, each year we host our annual in-person leadership summit, and this year we transitioned that two-day event into an 8-week virtual series, including today's session. For those of you who were able to join this morning, you heard from our President and CEO, Phil Satimi, and a panel of some of the industry's most progressive, high-performing health system leaders and the challenges they face and their strategies for success. You also had an opportunity to hear about our newest solution, on-site service, designed to help support the on-demand needs of the HTM and clinical engineering community. And this announcement provides enormous potential to help support clinical uptime and improve the capacity of hospital clinical engineering resources. So let's move on to our first topic. Here at PartsSource, we have a passion and believe in the power of collaboration, and it is only through partnering that we can deliver on the promise of a resilient, transparent, evidence-based supply chain and marketplace for healthcare and the medical device industry. Quite simply, through collaboration and working together, we can deliver better quality outcomes and better quality patient care. And during this segment, we're going to shift focus to our supplier partners and hear their perspectives. And we'll be introducing our latest solutions designed specifically for that market, along with practical guidance on how to make the most out of a PartsSource partnership. Earlier this week, we brought together a focus panel of executive leaders who sat down with our Senior Vice President and Chief Product Officer, Dave Brennan, to provide their perspectives and to discuss growth strategies as they head into 2021. Let's listen in.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the value of a PartsSource partnership, the OEM perspective. I'm Dave Brennan, and today we're fortunate to have 3 distinguished guests from our OEM partner population who will be sharing their thoughts with us about what it's like to be part of the PartsSource community. We've got Jason Rack from Siemens, Kevin Stringer from Midmark, and Jim Folk from Triplite. And hopefully you've had a chance to read their speakers' bios on the event webpage, but if not, I would encourage you to do so. They have a wealth of experience, and hopefully you can reach out to them with any questions. Now at PartsSource, partnership is a really meaningful word for us. It's the foundation of our business, and it's what keeps us going, curating the best parts, services, repair opportunities for our customers, bringing the best of the best from a wide array of partners to you. And so this means a lot to us. And today we're hoping that this will be helpful for you. We'll go through some sharing and some learning and a little bit of a partner to partner discussion. You know, today it's more important to talk about this than anything else. We have incredible pressures on us, not just from COVID-19, but there's an incredible lack of funding and reimbursement going on, and the two of these phenomena put incredible pressures on our mutual customers, the hospitals and healthcare providers across the US. And we're all living through this disruption together. So when we think about this partnership and bringing people together, when we think about delivering the best of the best to our mutual customers, we know that we have to do it only based on the strength of the partnerships that we have with our OEMs like yourselves. And many of you out there may have a relationship with us. Many of you may be considering a relationship with us. Hopefully today's conversation will talk to you a little bit about what it is to be part of the PartsSource family and how we partner together to address our customers' challenges. And specifically, we like to focus on how we can collectively drive the best mix of cost, quality, and efficiency for our customers. Because ultimately, what we're doing here is about bringing the best services to our customers in such a way that they can deliver better outcomes for patient care and patient health. So without further ado, I'll talk a little bit about, our focus on our partners, which is really encapsulated on this slide. We like to talk about extending the reach, helping partners reach out and find customers quickly and easily. In some cases, more quickly and more easily than they could do on their own, and hopefully giving you insights to power your growth. We do that through data, through analytics, through a focus on continuous improvement, so that you can grow your business, retain customers. And then we focus on customer experience. We focus on delighting our customers and making the purchase process and the post-purchase process and the approval process and the integration process and so on and so forth as easy as possible for healthcare providers, so they can do what they do best, which is take care of patients. So with that, I will switch over and we will begin the formal conversation with our distinguished panel here. And today I'd like to start with Jason. So Jason, Siemens and PartsSource have enjoyed a long relationship. Many out there are a little bit less familiar with PartsSource than Siemens. How would you characterize and what would you want the audience to know about the Siemens perspective around expanding our reach and empowering your growth and delighting customers?
Sure, Dave. Well, I think for us and probably many OEMs, it's important that you work with a partner that can really help us do what you just said, expand our channel to market and support our customers by delivering the whole value chain that PartsSource provides, which I'm sure we'll talk about. And also important is to complement our existing channels. I mean, people buy in different ways today, as you know. So the ability to buy and leverage some of the PartsSource capabilities has been a value that we hear from our customers. And I think it's helped our relationship, as you mentioned, evolve over the past few years. I think first and foremost, I mean, it's just everybody wants to get their products out there, and so our customers can find us. Not everybody buys from the OEM directly, and we need a way to merchandise our offerings. As people like to buy directly via phone, they like to come to the OEM, they like to come to you, they like e-commerce. So having these different options has been an alignment point with the market. I think secondly, moving up the value chain with data and insights. Frankly, we as OEMs don't always have access to some of these data points and insights that PartsSource has and has developed some capabilities. So it helps us deliver a little bit better with our customers, better experience. And then I think leveraging some of the really acute knowledge that PartsSource has. We've got 20 to 30,000 items in our catalog. I can't possibly know how well each one is performing and really what's trending in the market without some of the operational data and performance that PartsSource has provided to us. So I think that data, that visibility, that transparency has helped our relationship with PartsSource evolve, and I think it's proving valuable for our customers.
That's great. That's great. So Kevin, maybe moving over to you for a second. Looks like you might still be on mute, but your approach at Midmark has been a little bit different. Your experience has been a little different. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey, your experience?
Yeah, certainly. My role in the organization rolls up through service, and and taking over. We serve our medical, dental, animal health markets, and we have lots and lots of service parts. Active SKUs of 40,000+. So it's pretty labor intensive just to kind of be reactionary, and we were looking for a way about 5 years ago to sell parts on purpose. So instead of the phone ringing and responding and doing a good job of that, what could we do? How could we represent our service parts business better? Instead of just sending a spreadsheet out to our channel partners that is 40,000 lines deep, what else could we do? And we found PartsSource, and it's a really unique opportunity that we have. We were able to not only create a catalog, we're actually able to create an e-commerce store, a Midmark e-commerce store powered by the PartsSource engine, if you will. And so we really have kind of two pillars to our e-commerce strategy. We have midmarkserviceparts.com that's powered by the PartsSource engine. Those orders roll through Midmark directly. Our customers, view that as placing their orders directly with Midmark, and we process those. And then we also have our entire service parts catalog on the PartsSource platform. So in PartsSource.com, and as Jason mentioned, we basically providing choices to our customers. Some of our customers want to come OEM. Some of our customers like to continue to use the PartsSource platform, and we see value in both, having those choices out there for customers. There's a Google searching, they find Midmark, and we want them to be getting OEM parts however they find us, if that makes sense.
It does.
And we started this journey about 5 years ago, and we've seen substantial growth. It got built within tech service, which is a little unique. It didn't get built within digital marketing. So we kind of built the small parts business. It's substantially grown. We've seen, dollar growth, customer growth, reoccurring customer. Customers continue to come back to us. And as it's matured, we've pushed some of that over into our digital marketing team, where, to be honest, we mutually manage it with, the PartsSource team. We kind of do some stuff, and then the PartsSource team, helps us really manage it on the back end. We've had advantages. We see it. We started with parts, and we've grown it to do a lot more. We now offer some services through our direct platform. We offer some software maintenance agreements through the platform. We started with parts, and it really is kind of like the field of dreams, right? If you build it, they will come. We saw that. There was certainly an interest of, once we put it out there, when we got that first order, it's grown. Now we've had thousands of orders roll through our channel over the last 5 years, and it certainly has proven to our organization that we need not only a footprint, we need a real a platform to support our e-commerce service initiative, and it's providing us an opportunity to do more. Certainly.
And Kevin, can I jump in and ask, has there been an internal debate about that? Has there been an internal debate about whether or not you should have your own site?
Yeah, absolutely. So as this thing got started, of course, there's discussion organizationally about, investments, like should we do e-commerce, and then if we should do e-commerce, should we build it on our own? Should we partner with someone, in this case PartsSource? This really helped us start small with an economical investment. From a partnership perspective, it made a lot more sense than just build it on our own. Frankly, Midmark's not an e-commerce company. We want to build med devices and do that well. And so if we were going to say, we want to get into the e-commerce business, especially 5-6 years ago, we may have been able to build it once, and then I'm not confident that we would have been able to continue to maintain it. So with the partnership, we've really been able to do that, and more or less a subscription type model. So when enhancements are made to the collective system, we just reap the benefits of that. We tried and failed in a few different cases before we essentially just shifted everything over to the PartsSource, kind of white label platform, or our private platform. So we had some fits and starts. We built some things and then didn't necessarily continue to manage them. We tried to build them without being experts, and it didn't work out as planned over the long run. But it's certainly working out very well right now.
That's great. That's great. I think probably a lot of our audience isn't as familiar with the dual approach, having Midmark.com and PartsSource.com, both powered by PartsSource. The question I'm just sensing in the audience is probably, do these dual systems compete with each other? Are you competing with yourself?
It's a really good question, and I answer that question internally and have over the last number of years. The short answer is no. We've seen both channels grow. So I think it's kind of like, if sometimes you buy things on Amazon, sometimes you buy things directly from the OEM, but the OEM, we're still getting that business. We want to be able to provide as many touch points to the customer as possible. So if we're out there directly, and then we're also out there through PartsSource, but if they're both growing, I'm satisfied because I know those customers that are looking for mid-mark stuff are getting mid-mark stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it may be a little bit confusing, but we certainly have seen both channels grow, and there's synergy. So whenever we take a picture or we update a product, description or category structure, it lands in both places. So, and that's where we see some benefit that you guys help us with. So I don't have to manage a list of 40,000 service parts. That partnership effort certainly helps with that.
That's great. That's great. That's helpful. So Jim, transitioning over to you for a minute. Jason talked about supporting the whole value chain. Kevin talked about the platform benefits and his dual platform scenario. As you think about your world, as you think about servicing this unique HTM clinical engineering world, a world that has been underfunded, understaffed for decades, they work from the basement, they're largely left to fend for themselves. It's a unique customer. They are the unsung heroes of the healthcare system. And it's definitely a unique customer for you and your team. So from your viewpoint, what is the value of the PartSource partnership to you? Can you share that with the audience?
Absolutely. And Dave, thank you for having us a part of your program today. It's interesting that the three companies you've selected today all share one common theme, and that is lots of product. TripLight also has thousands and thousands of SKUs. We've been in business over 100 years, and our supply chain is pretty well established. However, that was before we decided that healthcare was a target, and healthcare started expanding. And it was clear that we really didn't have a path by which we could service and supply to the biomedical and clinical engineers. Historically, the products that, or some of the products that we've sold into the chain went by way of the large buying groups, the GPOs, and they traditionally didn't pay a lot of attention to our product. They were way more consumed with the consumables, the goods that just pass through very quickly at a low price, and also the capital goods, the capital equipment, where it was worth trying to negotiate a better price. And so our product and the product that would have been carried into the healthcare facility was pretty much left aside. And it was the relationship we found with PartSource and their ability to take the product to where it needs to be used. The clinical engineers and biomedical engineers have a unique job to do. They need to keep the equipment up and running all the time. And when that equipment isn't running, they really have a problem, and the problem can be solved by getting the product as quick as they can. PartSource brings the ability to put in front of that engineer the broad array of product that's available and deliver it in a timely fashion, typically the next day. And if we happen to hiccup, it might be 2 days, but nonetheless, it's there just about as quick as it can get there. And I think from an OEM perspective, by far the analytics and the information that is fed back helps us adjust what we do from an advertising perspective with PartSource. It helps us understand what the market needs are. Having just gone through the COVID issue, we were able to adjust our inventories the best we could to meet the demands that were coming through, and as an end result, attempt to get the product to that needed location as quick as we can, to keep that equipment up and running and doing what it's supposed to do.
That's great. That's great. So I want to circle back to Jason for a minute. Jason, a lot of folks online are probably less familiar with PartSource than you. As I mentioned in the opening, we've had a long relationship. What do you think is the best kept secret that OEMs should know about PartSource?
Well, I think complementing the buying experience with your channel to market, your platform, for customers that we're either not serving or we're not able to serve, has created growth. But more importantly, it seems to be what the market is seeking. And so to me, we've talked about this, Dave, with your team. It's a bit more than just being a reseller. I think PartsSource has a team of people, whether it's marketing, sales, analytics, that just wake up thinking about these products every day. And it's demonstrated that way in terms of the channel to market. So customers are finding value in transacting that way. And I think OEMs can find some value. We've found some value in learning from you in certain ways. So you kind of have to jump in a little bit to experience it. But when you do, you start to become a little bit closer to the market, closer to the customers. And I think it's a benefit of a complementary channel strategy that we have with you.
That's great. That's great. I appreciate that. Kevin, Jim, any other comments you want to add?
The only thing I would add is, and I think I mentioned a little before, but 5 years ago we were looking for a way to sell parts on purpose, to be more than reactionary, more than just answering the phone and providing a repair part, but how can we ensure that the market has a clear digital channel for their service part selection, the confidence that they're getting OEM direct. At least in our space, there's lots of different sellers, and we it's important for us to know that our customers are getting mid-mark stuff. So it's certainly helped mid-mark. The overall PartsSource partnership, both channels, the dual approach, has provided us an opportunity to sell a lot more parts on purpose. We've been able to connect with more customers and certainly see a revenue uptick as a result.
That's great.
And I think I'd echo that to some extent in that clearly through the relationship, we've seen some significant growth. I think, we see it. It may be kind of hard to relate to the OEMs that are participating, watching today, but clearly we've had mid-double-digit growth a couple of years in a row, and I think that's fabulous for both companies.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well,
I would add to that, Dave, just briefly. I think, if you don't mind, just a quick comment. I think it takes a little bit of creativity, and everybody does it differently. We all have different paths to market, but I think there are ways that we can really effectively complement each other's strategy, and we can both play well together. I think a lot of OEMs say, well, it's going to be, it could encumber my primary channel. Certainly that's the case. But I think we found ways that we can complement. And when you get a little bit creative around how to do that, you get some of the benefits that the other gentleman just spoke to.
Yeah. Well said. Well said, Jason. Perfect. Well, we're running near the end of our time here. So just a big thank you to the three of you for sharing your experiences. A big thank you for your partnership in delivering great experiences for our customers. As you all know, and as I hope this little snippet into our world has shown, we strive to be the best partner we can be to you, and it's all because our mutual focus on taking care of our customers. So we're super excited to be launching new tools, new analytics, new user experiences on a continuous basis, and hopefully we'll circle back with all of you again for another webinar soon. But thanks for your time today, and take care.
Special thanks to Dave, Jason, Kevin, and Jim. They each brought their own unique perspective, but I hope you found a number of underlying consistent themes and approaches for success. And we'd like to show you more. So please join me and several of my colleagues for our next session, the PartsSource platform, tools and services for suppliers. And we'll be getting into specifics about how the supplier community can partner with PartsSource, leveraging data insights to help drive value and success, and you just won't want to miss it.